The chair calls to order this special meeting of the Scottsdale Unified School District Number 48 Governing Board on November 15th, 2021. The time is 6 p.m. Vice President Sinowski, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The chair will now have a roll call starting from the left.
Zach Lindsay.
Libby Hartwells.
Patty Beckman.
Julie Sinowski.
Jan Michael Greenberg. All 5 board members are present and there is a quorum. The chair would like to make a motion to convene in executive session pursuant to ARS section 38-431-03A3 for discussion or consultation for legal advice with the governing board's attorney on any item that is listed on this agenda. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Vice President Sinowski seconds. It is moved and seconded that the board convene in executive session pursuant to ARS section 38-431-03A3 for discussion or consultation for legal advice with the governing board's attorney on any item that is listed on this agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. All those abstentions? The motion carries 5-0, and the board will convene in executive session. The chair reconvenes this special meeting of the Scottsdale Unified District Number 48 Governing Board on November 15th, 2021. The time is 6:18 p.m. I will briefly read a short statement. In my duty as a school board leader, it is important to me that each member of our SUSD community is heard. This input helps us build and maintain a learning environment where our students can thrive. I believe in this community and want us all to work together and learn from each other even when we disagree. I am reassured the Scottsdale Police Department is investigating this matter. There appear to be bad actors involved, and I am confident our law enforcement professionals will quickly resolve these issues. Social media in today's political environment can cloud judgment and generate fear that can cause all of us to react hastily, as I believe has occurred here. I commit to you and I commit to myself to stay focused on the most important role I have as a school board leader, ensuring Scottsdale students are learning in the classrooms and have the world-class, future-focused education they deserve. I thank the community for entrusting me with this monumental task, and I will do my part to leave the fear and politics out of the important work we must do together. Thank you. The board will now move to agenda item 4, approval of agenda, board action required. Are there any amendments or requests for further discussion on this matter? The chair would like to call another executive session pursuant to ARS section 38-431-03A3 for discussion or consultation for legal advice with the governing board's attorney on any item that is listed on this agenda. Is there a second? No second. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Vice President Sanowski seconds. Is moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. No. The motion carries 4-1. The board will now move to action item 5A, election of new board president. Are there any motions?
I would like to speak, President Greenberg.
Board Member Hartwells, you may speak.
First, I'd like to start by saying thank you to each of the district staff that have been involved in putting this special meeting together on such short notice, and to the Scottsdale Police Department for their assembly also on such short notice this evening. I want to thank each of my colleagues for your volunteer commitment to serve on this governing board, in addition to the many other hats that you wear in your lives. Last but certainly not least, I wish to extend that gratitude to the district leadership, the teachers, and the staff. And by staff, I mean all the staff, from the paraprofessionals to the support services to administrative assistants to coaches. Your poise displayed under these difficult circumstances is sincerely appreciated by this parent and colleague. Now to the merits of the meeting and agenda items, I requested the evening's special meeting in light of the significant and understandable concerns raised from a November 9 article in the Scottsdale Independent. Concerns that have risen to a level, in my view, that compromise the student-focused progress that this board has made over the last 10.5 months, an earnest and unwavering focus on students that the overwhelming majority of our Scottsdale Unified community supports. It is imperative that the board and that the district are able to function healthily and constructively to carry out its mission in educating our students to prepare them for their futures. It is in my view that in order to double down on that singular objective, the board must take actions to the extent it has the authority to do so. Specifically, I've asked the board to consider an election of a new board president and to resolve a recommendation for Mr. Greenberg's resignation. I take absolutely no pleasure in making these requests. However, I feel strongly that these actions, coupled with the actions that the district is undertaking, are necessary so that we can all get back to the good work that we took an oath of office to carry out as members of this governing board. And there are more than 22,000 reasons to take these actions this evening. I do look forward to learning my colleagues' thoughts. Thank you.
Board Member Hartwells, I would like to say that I do appreciate your perspective on this matter, but I do believe that we do not have all the facts And without all the facts, we cannot make a decision that is in the best interest of the district. And that is why I so strongly support the investigations that have been announced and those that are being done in private, because once we have all the facts, then we should make a decision that is in the best interest of the district. So thank you. Are there any other board member questions or comments on action item 5A, election of new board president? Are there any motions?
I'd like to move to, actually, I'll ask Ms. Byrd, what would be the appropriate to just vote on, take a nominations for a new board president? Okay.
My mic doesn't work, and so I
Okay.
will try to. Order would dictate that you've had discussion on the action item, that you would vote as to whether you wanted to move forward or not move forward, and then based on that vote, you would determine your next steps.
Thank you, Ms. Byrd. I'd like to make a motion to move forward on agenda item, which I don't have in front of me, A, to elect a new board president.
Second.
I'm sorry, board member, Counselor Byrd, are you saying that we are to take two separate motions on one action item tonight?
To elect new officers or a new board president, then you wouldn't elect a new board, you wouldn't elect. So I believe that you need to decide whether or not you're going to take action in this case. And then once you do that, you proceed to determine what happens next.
So we would have another board meeting to then elect
That
the
is
board
not
president?
my understanding, no.
But hasn't your advice in the past to us been that we can't take two motions on one action item?
I don't remember ever advising you in that capacity. However, other council may have. But it would make pragmatic, logical sense. The item, agenda item is noticed. You discuss and you take action as to whether or not you would like to elect new officers. If you do that, then the agenda item which says election of new board president, you can then decide whom that, or who is that going to be. But you can't decide who it's going to be before you decide if you're going to go in that direction.
Okay, so we'll make that, this motion's been seconded, we'll move forward, and then we'll open it for nominations.
So first, we need to take a vote on the motion that has been seconded,
do-
which is, do we
does the
wish to
board-
proceed
yes.
with electing a new board president?
So,
The motion is to do so,
A-
which has been seconded.
yes,
I
the
think we're
motion
ready
that
for a
is,
vote.
the motion that is moved and seconded is to proceed with action item 5A, election of a new board president. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. No, the motion passes 4-1. The floor is now open to nominations. Are there any nominations or motions, I guess motions to nominate?
I would like to nominate Patty Beckman for the president of the board.
I would like to make a substitute motion to nominate Vice President Sanowski as the board president. Are there any comments?
Can I second the first motion?
You can,
I don't think, is there a motion on the table, or is there just?
It's just
discussion?
nominations, but does the person need to accept nomination? Formally, I would.
I mean, they could decline. If they do not wish to be under consideration, they should decline.
Well, this is definitely, not what I had planned. And I take no pleasure in this as well. But I will accept the nomination and serve temporarily until, should this pass, until the next election.
So is there a second to the motion for Board Member
Second.
Beckman? Board Member Lindsay seconds. It is moved and seconded that Board Member Beckman be elected as the new board president until my term is concluded in January. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. The motion carries 4-1. Do we do a reorganization at this point? The board meeting is recessed for 5 minutes until 6:35 p.m. Thank you.
This special meeting is reconvened at 6:35 PM. We are going to now move to Agenda Item 5B, the adoption of consideration for the resignation of Jan Michael Greenberg. Do I have any discussion from board members? Board Member Vice President Stanowski.
As a board, we have consistently asked for details prior to making decisions. These are important to leveled and responsible leadership. We've postponed votes until we've had more information in the past. It's been part of our process and our regular practice as a governing board. Should we be making judgment without all of the factual information based on coordinated pressure? What precedents are we establishing as a community? I do feel, in the wake of current events, that the narratives have constantly interfered with our work, but I do value our collective work as a board.
Thank you, Vice President Stanowski. Are there any other board member comments? Board Member Lindsay.
This has been an incredibly difficult week for the district and our community. I welcome the investigations into this matter so we can eventually move past this situation and put the focus back on our kids. With the ongoing investigations, this is not the appropriate time to comment on specifics, but let me say that I find some of the allegations very troubling, and they've been a huge distraction to our district. I have asked for the resignation of Jan Michael Greenberg because I believe that would be the best for our students, our teachers, our staff, and our community. It's time to move past this controversy so we can get back to our number one priority, which is providing the best education for our kids.
Thank you. Any other comments on the floor from board members? Okay. Again, it is incredibly disappointing that we have to be here tonight. Our children deserve the best that we have to give, and we have a lot of work to do. We need to be 100% focused on our students. After 2 years of COVID upheaval, they desperately need our help. Unfortunately, I feel that while Jan Michael Greenberg remains on the board, the focus will not be on our children, and that's why I'm also asking for him to consider resigning. We need to move forward together as a district and a community. Thank you. Are there any other board member comments?
Yes.
Board Member Stanowski.
I'd like to make a few additional comments, and I feel it's actually appropriate to do so at this time. Recently, it has been interjected that other board members were aware of these documents and that were held on a community member's personal computer. And personally, because I was CC'd on an email, carbon copied on an email conversation at the beginning of this school year pertaining to a conversation between two individual adults, the person who included me in the CC has also been included in at least 50 other emails for various reasons. I did not read or examine the details of this particular conversation because it appeared to be an email conversation between two adults, and I was not part of that conversation. The misguided assumption of my knowledge of details contained on a community member's personal computer drive is false. Additionally, I found out that the contents of the questioned personal computer drive contained a file that included a couple of edited pre-election campaign videos of mine. That could be so. The offer of support to my campaign was comprehensive and came from throughout our community and included the assistance of many varied individuals, including Mr. Greenberg offering to shoot and edit a couple of campaign videos for me. He is a community member, one of many who offered to assist me with my campaign. I am proud to have had the offer of assistance of so many individuals throughout our community to elect me to this important role. Elections have been the time-honored method of choosing leaders. I value elections. I, too, like my colleagues, will remain committed to working hard in our community and to serving our SUSD faculty, students, and families by establishing great learning opportunities for all our students. That being said, I do believe that the quality of our board and the strength of our board is capable of continuing to put students first with our current leader in place.
I would
you.
just
Board-
again like to thank all of my board colleagues for their perspectives on this matter, and again reiterate the fact that we do not have all the facts at this time, and to make a decision without those facts that's in the best interest of the district is simply not possible. And so again, I strongly support the investigations that have been announced both publicly and privately. And I hope that at the conclusion of those investigations, we will have all the facts so that we can make a decision that is in the best interest of our district on this matter. Thank you.
Any other board member comments? Okay, I move to adjourn this special meeting at 6:41 PM. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The meeting is adjourned at 6:41 PM. Thank you.